Winners were the favourites of heaven. Even Christians whose God had died as a convicted criminal nailed to a wooden cross might succumb to this presumption. Eusebius certainly took it for granted. How could he not have done when he had the spectacle before him of a Roman state that for centuries had been gore-streaked with Christian blood miraculously transformed into a bulwark of the Church? No need for the Caesar who had first bowed his head before Christ to wait for death to receive his due reward. Eusebius, who combined the talents of an instinctive polemicist with a profound streak of hero worship, wrote an entire biography of the emperor just to ram the point home. So dear was he to God, and so blessed, so pious, and so fortunate in all he undertook, that with the greatest facility he obtained authority over more nations than any who had preceded him, and yet retained his power undisturbed to the very close of his life. Confidence in this formula, that faith in Christ would lead to earthly glory, would take a number of knocks over the course of the succeeding centuries. Awkwardly, the more Christian the Romans became, the more their empire's frontiers seemed to contract. Theologians devised various explanations for this puzzling phenomenon, explanations which Christians who had only to study the Gospels to learn Jesus' views on the earthly and the overweening might well find perfectly persuasive. Nevertheless, the core equation so lovingly dwelt upon by Eusebius, that worldly greatness was bestowed by God upon those who pleased him, appeared altogether too plausible simply to be dismissed out of hand. Instead, the more the Romans found themselves locked in a desperate struggle for survival, so the more it came to be appropriated by a new and quite startlingly upstart imperial people. The identity of these same conquerors, who had not only deprived the Romans of their wealthiest provinces, but had crushed the Persians underfoot altogether, could hardly have come as more of a shock to the defeated. Indeed, so unexpected was what had happened, so utterly jaw-dropping, as to appear self-evidently miraculous. What else but the hand of God could possibly explain the conquest of the world by a people previously scorned as the ultimate in savagery and backwardness? The Arabs.